better career start in the industry. So in this case, actually, the technology delivery is happening through our knowledge office. They're taking care of actually delivering the needed technology things. So most of the time, what happens means the knowledge sharing from our side is maybe not actually enough for the people who would like to know more about the practitioners who actually presently work in the industry, because we are from industry, but actually we maybe having some experience and we started our career in ICT Academy a couple of years back. So we are not presently a practitioner. So the panel is actually now you having today is actually a practitioner, they having a decades of experience in the HR, actually people management. Our first panel discussion is more focusing on the technology domain, so that we actually bring the experts from the different technologies. Maybe I hope actually cybersecurity expert came from this and Nissan. And the same way actually some other domain experts also. And the same way actually some other domain experts also joined to share actually his experience how to actually navigate your career growth inside the industry once you are actually getting into the domain actually. Today's actually panel discussion is going to help you a lot, because actually you completed your learning process. Now you actually most of you people are actually getting into the project space. Then the next is the interview process. So here actually you may actually understand what is the trend actually now, or actually what is the expectation of the industry or HR people from a new hiring. So because a lot of hirings are going on, the fresher hiring, experience hiring. So in the case of fresher hiring, what is actual expectation from for most of the companies will be shared by the experts. So I'm not getting into that. So that way actually you are fortunate to getting a lot of insights from the people. I would like to give a small brief about the participants to the panel. Riji actually, I hope actually already given some insights. Most of them are actually graduates. If you take actually 60% of the people are graduated from 2024. Remaining are actually within 2-3 years before that actually. The same way 50% of the people are from engineering background. Remaining are actually science and other backgrounds. The same other backgrounds, and they are actually doing the program with us for actually for last 2 to 2.5 months. So we are actually they are actually fortunate to actually see the vibe culture of the Technopark. They are actually undergoing the training program inside the Technopark. So that also actually we normally will see actually the transition of the students when actually they join the program after 2-3 months. In all the manners. So the vibrant culture of the Technopark actually doing a lot of influence among the candidates, and actually there is a lot of changes actually they are bringing on their actually regular day-to-day lives, actually seeing all those things. So that is one advantage they have. The second advantage is already mentioned. Actually, the delivery part is already over. Actually, they're going to actually hear eagerly waiting for to hear from your side. So I will actually conclude my the keynote address with 3 things actually I would like to share with you. First thing is, it is actually based on my actually understanding from some of the people I discussed. Don't feel like your learning is getting over now actually, or getting over, because most of the people I discussed, I shared that okay, I completed my learning. So next, waiting for a job or like a project. So what next, like that thing. But actually, it is fortunately your learning starts now. So IT is not IT. But actually, it is fortunately your learning starts now. So IT is not IT only. If you take any industry nowadays, in the new gen, actually any industries, you are actually once you are starting your career. Actually. So it's not actually after ending your learning, you are starting your career. Whenever you are starting your career, actually your learning is starting. So you need to actually keep in mind that actually lifelong learning is very important. Learning and learning is the only actually mantra to keep you related to the industry. Otherwise, what happens with the technology today, what you learn may not actually relevant to actually after 5 years, maybe after 2 years also. The case actually you need to relearn all those things. So that is the one area you need to focus on to your entire life. Don't feel like I'm completed my learning for uh, it may not help you. So actually, you need to continuous learner for your entire life. So you are just starting your learning. The second thing I would like to share with you is to try to actually use the opportunity whenever you are getting it. Sometimes what happens is people actually willingly replacing the opportunity, but they are not preparing enough to actually make it actually a successful one. So if actually you are getting opportunity to actually attend the interview or actually getting opportunity to speak in front of the students, whatever way, you may be accepting it, but actually you are not, most of the time, actually I'm not commonly saying, common scenario what we are saying is most of the time people are not preparing enough to actually make it is materialized. So that the second area you need to focus it. Whenever actually you having a viva or you having a internship opportunity or you having interviews, you need to actually prepare yourself. Because you may most normally actually in our in our actually early stages, what we thought is okay. Whenever actually I'm going to for an interview, I know technical things, so I need to prepare. Then actually I need to present myself in front of others. Then I also can do it. Right? So there is no preparation is needed. That is a mindset normally I have. That need to be changed. Right? So whatever you are actually knowing about yourself or technology, you should know how to present in front of the interviewers. So that actually the preparation is going to help you a lot on that part. So that is very important because you have a very limited time. Normally you will say that whenever you are going for examination, you are learning for a year period. But actually the given time is only 3 years. You need to prove within 3 hours your knowledge. The same way actually whenever you are going for any interviews or you are meeting any clients, who or else actually you are giving very limited time to actually convince or impress the people. So that need actually a lot of preparation. So preparation is very mandatory whenever actually you are going for any interviews or you are meeting for any client or you meeting any new people. Like whenever you are meeting any new people, that your time is very limited. So preparation is always important. So whenever you are getting opportunity, you are actually accepting the opportunity, you ensure that actually you are preparing, doing actually enough preparation to actually crack that opportunity. The third one is actually the most important. That maybe you, as of now, actually my understanding is most of the people are started it, but actually you need to expand it more. Creating a networking more important. So whenever you are meeting people's on your network, maybe for example, actually, lot of industry people you may chances to getting interacting. So you try to actually improve your networking. So you maybe not actually I'm talking about the social media things. Social media actually social media things are more important, but actually professional social medias are actually more important. So you try to actually expand your network. That always actually helping you out, help you out to actually more relevant on the industry trends actually because whenever for example if you are connected with a HR leads or tech leads in the industry, so their actually post will help you actually understand the current trends of the industry and other things, and also it will actually help you to explore at a similar community among the groups. So these are the three things actually I would like to share with you, and I hope actually you waiting for the final discussion. I'm not actually taking more time. Finally, I'm closing it with that always we suggest to the students whenever you are getting opportunity, you ask the right question to the right person at right time. So this is the right place to ask the right question to the right people here. So use maximum out of it. We wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that inspiring keynote. Moving forward, we now have the highlight of today's event, the panel discussion, featuring distinguished panelists who are experts in their respective fields. They will be sharing their experiences and insights on career readiness in the industry. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Vijit Kumar, Head of Human Resource at Jones. With over 15 years of comprehensive experience in human resource management, his expertise encompasses HRMS implementation, talent acquisition, strategic planning, training and development, talent management, employee grievance management, and statutory payroll management. Welcome, sir. Next we have Ms. Renita Krishna, Head of Learning at Zafin. Ms. Renita brings over 20 years of experience in developing and implementing innovative learning strategies. Ms. Renita is committed to enhancing organizational performance through tailored educational solutions that empower teams and drive results. Welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Ms. Houston Thomas, Head of HR at ARS Traffic and Transport Technology. Ms. Houston is an accomplished HR professional with 14 years of experience in HR business partnering and generalist roles. Ms. Houston has a proven track record in talent management and performance management. Welcome, ma'am. And last but not least, Ms. Riji N, Head of Knowledge Office at ICT Academy, who will be moderating today's panel discussion. Mr. Riji brings a wealth of experience and insight to our dialogue, and we are honored to have him guide us through this important conversation. Let's welcome all of them with a big round of applause.
Thank you, Anita. Hello, everyone. Just like MC introduced, we have a very eminent panel. Looking at the names of the company, we can see that one company is very specialized in mobility management. Fintech, one company is very specialized in mobility management. Fintech company and a company which is specialized in animation. So give a warm round of applause to all the three panelists. Before coming to the discussion, so let me set the context. So let me go back 20 years back, almost, share a small experience, or it's an incident happened 20 years back. Some of you may be familiar that the earlier campus placements were happening in pooled campus, right? The companies are not meant for going to each and every campuses, especially the tier 2 or tier 3 campuses. Then come and visit only in 1 or 2 campuses in Kerala. That time, colleges from different region come to a specific nodal institute or location and attend campus drives in those companies. And this actually happened in one of the colleges in Travancore. Around 20 college students were attending, and close to 2,000 students were attending that campus placement. Just like it's happened 20 years back, which means that initially there's a test, and it was conducted completely in a paper pencil board, and then this has to be manually evaluated. So the results normally comes close to the evening. Out of 2,000, only 10% will be selected for the next round. So close to 200 people will be selected for the second round. In the second round, it was a major elimination round, like a group discussion. So the group discussion happened, and it happened in the evening hours. And finally, around 30 students were selected for the next round, which is the technical interview. Everyone was very curious. Most of the students were tensed, and the interview started. And myself was there representing one of the institutions. So we were very curious to know what actually happens inside the interview rooms. And most of the faces that comes out have the sad smiley. And then we ask the question what happens, and most of them say that we are from non-IT background. They are asking questions on C, C++. We haven't studied, but we don't have much clarity on those subjects. So it is very difficult. Then after some time, computer science students entered, and they also came to the same smiley, the sad smiley. And we asked them, you studied C, C++, right? But they are asking questions from data structures, operating systems. It was difficult for us to answer. And finally, a happy smiley person came out. So everyone was so curious to know what happened inside. And then some people like us approached him and asked him what happened inside. And he said, I was selected. It was actually the next round or the HR round. But it did happen, and it will happen only after completion of the technical round. And he said, I am tensed. Who's it? The panel member said that I'm praised. And yeah, prompted him with other set of questions. Then what happened inside? And they asked me the first question, do you know C? And he said, I studied, I'm a mechanical engineering student. At that time, Kerala University, for mechanical engineering students, only C++ was there. So I don't know C. And the second question, do you know C++, right? I studied C++ in the third semester. Right now I am in the seventh semester. So I don't have much idea about C++. So the second question is also a no. And then the third question, obviously, do you think that there was a third question? Yeah, okay, there was a third question. And the third question was HR kind of a question. Why should we hire you? Very politely they asked, why should we hire you? And it was his time. And then he was holding a project report in his hand. Everybody else was carrying certificates. And he showed it to the interviewer and said, this is my project report. I am a mechanical engineering student. I have done a project on robotics. I learned assembly language and then coded assembly language, and this is my project. And it was about a robotic arm movement. And the panel was a lot of questions, the left and right kind of questioning about the project. He answered everything. And he was actually a 7-pointer kind of a person. There was 8 pointers and 9 pointers in that final list. All others had to wait 2 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning to get the final results of the HR round. This person actually was given the offer letter. It was not given the offer letter, and the panel was so open to tell him that we actually wanted people like you. And looking back, one or two skills that he actually demonstrated at that point of time was the problem solving was one of them, and actually he solved that problem. And then he showed the courage to go out of his comfort zone. He was a mechanical engineering student, learned something out of the box, and then did a project. So that going out of the comfort zone and doing something. And finally, he actually collaborated with some of his friends from the other departments to learn these stuff. And that was actually paid off. He got the placement. And so now, 20 years, we are standing 20 years after that. What has changed? What places changed? And what cultures changed? So now, a lot of evolution happened, and the panel is here, and they will be talking to you more about the current trends, especially in the recruitment, the HR, as well as in the maybe talking something about the technology aspect as well. So I will be reading questions, and my role mainly is to reveal some of the trends on the industry side. So then I open the door for you. You should ask specific questions to the panelists. And you may be having your own questions. What are the skills that you need to have, or you are knocking, definitely will be knocking the doors. And what skills you should be having your side to get the doors open. Okay, with these introductions, let me start the discussion. So let me join the members in the scene. Sreekumar already have given you the details about the students, actually not quantum students, because they actually gone out of the campus. So now they are actually important students. They are belonging to different streams, like some of them are into data science, machine learning courses, and some of them are in cyber security. We do have students enrolled to other courses as well. So to give you an exact talk about data-driven decisions. So actually can gather some data. So all of you have gadgets, right? For so use this, or you visit the site cyber.com and use access a poll. It's a 3-question poll. You may be taking only the next 3 some details about you, your courses that you are doing. Access the QR code is type cyber.com in a browser and access it. Sreekumar actually within the retail division, actually ICT Academy has 4 verticals. One is academia. We are connected with the, yeah, we can see it. We are connected with around the 300, more than 300 campuses in Kerala, belonging to science, engineering, management, polytechnic. With these campuses and new student as well as tracking development program. And we are concentrating only on IT skills. So all our training programs are based on IT skills. And one of the uniqueness about ICT Academy, we actually have a good industry that any training program that we offer to the campus are aligned to the requirement of the industry. So we were talking us about the requirement, and we actually decided intermediate to convey the messages to the industry. So this is another example where we connect the industry to the learner. So this happens in the first vertical, and this is the second vertical. Those who graduated from the campuses, sometimes they actually at that time they don't have the right skill to get the opportunities out there. So we enroll them to certification programs of 6 months duration. Most of these programs have the initial phase of learning happen in the first 4 months. Then we take them to a capstone course, dedicated capstone course for another 1 month, and 1 month of internship, which can be either done virtually as well as physically. So the 6 months, we make sure that any gap in their learning should be completed in capstone project as well as okay, able to respond to the query? Able to see 37 responses. John, can you refresh? Show results. Click on the show results. Thank you. Like Sreekumar mentioned, majority of them are from the undergraduate stream, and we do have some postgraduate students as well. And we believe that most of the postgraduates are from MCA background. So we can move to the next question. So we got 50 responses for the first one. And mainly some of them are happening virtually. So some of our batches are happening virtually. So we do have physical batches happening in Trivandrum. This is our headquarters, and we do have a lab facility in our Technopark. Similarly, we do have another 2 offices, one at Quality Infopark and one at UL Cyberpark Calicut. And in Quality also, we will have a similar set of graduation batches are happening. And virtual batches are also there. So this is again the stream of their graduation. Majority out of the active participants, majority of them are from engineering background, science, commerce, arts. So this is a mix of, because the program we actually open it for graduates from science graduates, after the commerce we can also attend. Cybersecurity, even language students, English literature, computer education can also come and join. Yeah, another 50 responses. Thank you so much. So move to the next and the last question. This actually shows you the division. So right now these are the active learning program happening: data science, full stack, machine, full stack as cyber security. So hope that you get some idea about the audience. So shall we go in an alphabetical order? Idea about the round. So actually this discussion is divided into 4 different segments. The first segment, so Anita already introduced the panel members. But in the first round, we actually would like the panel members talking about your organization and what that you are doing, and little bit more about your portfolio, the role, responsibility you hold as the head of respective units. Maybe some changes that you observe in the recent times. So these things we can, each members can talk. So we go in an alphabetical order maybe. So starting with Riji.
Hello. Okay, good evening all. So as our introductory has already introduced, my name is Vijit. I am representing Tools Media Group. I am heading the HR division for their global operations. So having around 18 years experience, started my career with an NBFC in Muthoot. I was handling the pan-India operations, then moved to retail, Future Group because so that too in metros I handled there for almost 3 years. Then I moved to Asianet, the media industry. Then I moved to Maruti. Then to last company was Muthoot Technologies. IT division for Muthoot. I was handling the HR head role for there for almost 8 years. Now it's been 2 years, 2.5 years with Tools Media Group. So that's all about me. So the main thing which I want to tell you guys is that automation or currently the trend is like digitalization. So unless and until we equip ourselves into the recent scenarios or the need of this right time, we all will be dinosaurs. Let me tell you very frankly. Because in currently what is in my company is happening is that you know animation, right? What do you know animation about? Much about animation? It just previously it was like 2D drawing. Now it is changed into AI technology. Got it? So what will be the future of a person who knows only drawing? Just you, rest of the cases you guys need to think about where that guy's future will be. Okay. So just a brief note of my career and my experience here. Rest of the things we will be discussing in further questions. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Vijit. So let me come to say, let me take the alphabetical order. Company, like I should say, like you are working in the mobility sector. So like if you
Thank you, Riji. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay. So from this good evening, maybe I noted five of you, right? Shortlisted five of you. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Okay, that is the situation. That is the scenario. Okay, I'll get back to that later. So I'm so happy and thrilled to see you all because young face, vibrant people. This takes me back to the time where we went for campus hiring. So now also we go once in a year we go for campus hiring, freshers recruitment. Like the candidates, we are also so thrilled because that is the vibrancy, energy which we can feel from there. So that is the energy which I am expecting from here. Of course, I can see that. Let me introduce myself. I'm Houston Thomas. I head the HR department of AIS, Traffic and Transport Technology. Talking about my company, we are the solution providers for intelligent traffic and transport management systems. We specialize in developing advanced technologies which enhances better traffic, road safety, optimize the transportation efficiency. So, to make you more understand, in simpler words, I can tell you that you heard about smart parking. It's not much there in India, but in European countries, you can see that everybody will have an allocated space for parking. So the system scans the vehicle, it sends to the back office, and they will ensure that the parking is done in a proper allocated place, not anywhere in the road. So this actually ensures the society and the community to have a better lifestyle. The same with traffic management, transportation management, planning and logistics. So these are the few areas of solutions which my company provides. And I head the HR department. I handles onboarding till offboarding, like talent acquisition, performance management, employee benefits, everything in HR. And we believe that working with the leadership people to understand what is the business, what is the organizational objectives, that will be aligned with the HR strategies. So that is what my main role is, and to of course foster a great work culture in the organization to ensure the growth and collaboration of the team. I have 15 years of experience. I started my work in IBM, which is in Bangalore, and I moved to Toronto. My first company in Toronto was Zafin. After that, I moved to Navigate, which is Guidehouse now. Now this is my third company, which is ARS. I am working here for past 6 years, having a great time. Talking about before and after, maybe we'll talk later or yeah. Okay, thank you everyone.
I hope that the data science students might have noted like the company and sort of a the last panel Anup was there.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
Zafin is
I hope I'm audible. Okay. Great. Good afternoon, good evening, all of you. And of course, Riji, thank you so much for setting the stage up, and also to Sreekumar. I was actually listening into your presentation, very much spot on. Just to give you a little bit of briefing about my company first before me. That is Zafin. So you might have seen that board out there, which is just in front of ICT. Zafin is a company which had been in existence for about 23 years. So it started off as a financial technology company, and back then the founders at that point of time were thinking about how can we get into the mobile and telecom space. So that was how they started off with this idea of setting up a company. And then during the course of exploration, they understood that they have a good potential in the banking sector, particularly in terms of how the banks can migrate from their legacy model to be more modernized. Right? So that was the history of how Zafin started. And Zafin is based out of Canada. So we had our initial banks which came from Canada, and most of our clients are all the international banking clients. So we have Wells Fargo, we have ANZ, Emirates, and different kinds of banks. You know, it is still, we always call it is still a 5% of the banking population, I would say. We have also domestic banks like HSBC and HDFC, which are our customers. Now, what Zafin does is we have two groups of customers, banking customers. One is your legacy banks, which are really looking out for how can they modernize into the core system. So that is where Zafin comes into place. We are a global market leader when it comes to the core modernization in internet. So that is one side of the business that we are into. Next is your new generation banks, NGC banks, which we call. And that is where we are trying to collaborate with the new generation banks, trying to see how we can scale up their services. Because they come up with a lot of innovative ideas, they are much more digitized, and there is no change management that is required in such kind of banks. So that's where we are largely specialized in. Now coming back to me, as you see my name out there, I'm Benita. I carry an experience of 21 years right now. And a good part of my career was in McKinsey. So I am a little freshly when it comes to Zafin. So I'm just 6 months old in Zafin. Before that, I was in McKinsey for over 2 decades, and that was like a good part of my career was in the core operations. So very often when I see each of you, I can relate with the fresher side in me. You know, once upon a time, I was also hired by McKinsey to join in the fresher group that they hired for. And thereafter, at some point of time, I discovered my passion in people development, and that brought me into the leadership development account. Started off with managing that account, and thereafter leading the function. And when I was stepping out from McKinsey, I was heading the learning operations for the Asia Pacific region. So that's a little bit about me. I'm not going to take much of your time, but yeah, we will kind of discover more what I have to say and what you have to ask me as well. But I hope this discussion becomes truly meaningful for all of us here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's the first time actually we are going to introduce a panel in what the panel members and what they are doing. And ask us 3 questions and it's keep in your hand and we have a specific round for questions. I think I take this way in the next round. So in this round, it's really all industry readiness. So if somebody goes, our title Shilpa mentioned about we are running industry readiness program. So there are two things that when we design an industry readiness program, we can have industry readiness in paper. For preparing curriculum and then curriculum that matches the industry requirement. That actually is something like the first part of industry readiness. Second part is set up a team to deliver that. And a team capable of running the training program in the industry readiness manner. And the third and the most important aspect is the learners. The learners to take it in the right sense, explore it, and then come up with the right set of skills. So now in this round, I will be asking 20 questions to each panel members. What industry readiness mean for each and every organization? These 3 organizations are totally different. They work in 3 different domains. So industry readiness for tools is not the same as of the industry readiness of Zafin. Yeah? So Zafin. So you are in the right IRS for the last 6 years, which means that you were there with the same company during the pandemic. So the question is, What is industry?
So for recruitment, we used to say that it is before and after COVID era, right? So what is industrial readiness? That is, everybody has their own skills, their own what you learned in college. What is your skills, be it technical or soft skill? But how we are going to apply that in that particular organization is different. Basically, every organization is looking for a person who can be dynamic to that work culture, who can adapt the challenges, and who can contribute from the first day onwards. That is what every company is looking for. Before COVID, there were options, and the mindset of the people, everything was different. So there were options that even if I call for an interview call, there will be so many candidates, and if I give an offer, there will be maybe 3 or 4 people are already shortlisted. Then maybe from that 3 to 4 people, I'll shortlist one person, but there will be willingness from that person to join. But that market is completely volatile nowadays. So what happens is like everybody have at least 3 or 4 offers, and every companies will have at least 4 or 5 people already shortlisted for the position. So the company is looking for the best person. So Mr. Sreekumar said the right thing. So he mentioned about 2, 3 points, right? One thing, continuous learning is the key. You have to upskill yourself. Whatever the degree you're an engineering graduate, you're an art graduate, but you have to upskill your skills. You have to be learning every day. Nowadays, this online is so booming that you can see any kind of courses anywhere. You can even learn it for free. There are some kind of ICT kind of academies. They are really providing classroom trainings. So try to enhance, build your skill set. Then prepare yourself. You know very well what is your skill set. You know very well the answer. But if you are not prepared enough to go and talk in front of an interview panel, you cannot you cannot be successful. Imagine you have the answer for a question, but the way you cannot articulate it, you cannot answer it. What will happen? The chance will go for the other candidate. And of course, networking is very important because nowadays what we can see is like, as I told, so many engineering candidates outside. If I go for a freshers hiring, a campus hiring, I'll see at least 50, 60 people coming for my freshers hiring batch. But I take only 6 or 7 from them. The interview rounds are really challenging and tough. So you have to upgrade yourself. You have to ensure that you are in the first batch or first green layer of the candidates.
As a bank, so you were having lot of skills at that point of time. So when you joined the industry, and you might also felt the thing that industry institute gap, right? So can you tell something about the challenges that you face, especially from the industry readiness as a fresh graduate, and now a person who is handling the LRD managing that, so that the freshers won't have the same challenges.
Ruchi is almost jogging my memory, kind of taking me back to, it's a time travel, 20 years back, 21 years back. So when I joined, at that point of time, to be very honest, I was just out, just like most of you, just out of the college and very vibrant, very much looking forward to, and there is a little bit of a color visual you have about how corporate will look like. So that was sort of a visual that you had when you joined the organization, when I joined the organization. And believe me, it was not easy. Because one side, there were lots of technical training that was being given to help you fit into the role. That is one side of the learning. Then the second aspect of the learning was how do you fit into a work culture, which was not something that is going to be like something that can be taught in a classroom, right? So that is sort of a journey that I had to take, which came with its own challenges because sometimes you end up getting certain feedback from people, and it was very organic back then because there was no structured way of how it used to operate. And it was almost like, okay, you learn on the go. Sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you get feedback, sometimes people give you coaching. So it was a lot of different stuff that happened to me to help me with my challenges. But to be very candid with you, back then I think the companies were a lot more tolerant towards getting people ready to the role, which is not what I see in the current setup today. In the current setup, what I'm seeing today, as part of the head of learning as well as working very closely with HR and the operations team, we are a lot more agile. We want people to come in, learn the tricks of the trade, and get billable at a much more faster scale. So that is where, and every learning that we are providing is oriented towards getting there because it comes with its own assessment criteria. We kind of do a continuous assessment and we make sure that people are completely up and running, say in a matter of 3 to 6 months. Beyond that, nobody has the time. And we are also, to the point that was being shared, we are also looking out for who is the best talent in the market, whom we can bring in. So I'm talking about a good talent getting into a billable role in a matter of 3 to 6 months, which is an aggressive target for us. But that's where we are getting into. And that is sort of the situation back then as well as the situation right now that I'm experiencing. So please keep your heads open to the point that Mr. Sreekumar was saying, your learning should never stop. It is starting off from here. That's how I would put it. Thank you.
Okay, so we are continuous. Thank you. To ask a connection word for tools. The first word that comes to my mind is failure. So most of the times, tools company to be creative, the workers definitely employees should be creative. So how you manage this? How you identify?
Very nice question. So animation, as you rightly told, it's a separately different world. I would say altogether. It's a creative world, right? So it's not much related to my previous company where I was a techie guy. So there all the technical aspects works. But when it comes to animation, it's a totally entirely different world where we take people purely based on their skill set. So as you all have specialized in your own skill set, I truly believe that you have selected the right course for the 6 months course, right? So that kind of course for animation, a person who is not creative or who has no passion for the work, I would put it in that way, passion for that particular course or for that work won't sustain. And you guys, I was just going through your all the courses. Few people are expertised in cyber security. Few people are into their this BA kind of a role where function specializations are there. Because since I was into IT, I'm very much familiar with the full stack developer, Java, and all those concepts. So unless and until you guys think about what is crucial and what is very critical for you and where you want to aspire your career, at this point of time will lead you to that point. So coming to the question, animation industry, we are looking for people who have the passion and the learning ability. Please understand. There can be people who have that passion, but they haven't got much kind of an opportunity to learn things. For that, we also have an academy inside, like you guys are helping out for the with ICT and faith. I know all these kind of people where we train the people. We train the people, and there also there are a lot of options available for them. 2D animation is there, 3D is there, then come to Python and all those related stuffs, VFX, all those. I don't need to brief you much since you guys know very much about the animation industry, you have been into the film seeing all those stuffs. So it's all about how you, what is your passion and what is your learning skill, as Mr. Sreekumar has told. It's not about after completing the course you are giving a full stop. You are just starting your career. Please understand. Because relearning. Because when we started, when we select an artist, we say we train him in a particular department, and then we will see where his aspiration of his skill set is, and we will retrain him a cross-departmental training also. You got it? So at an entry level, we will be expertise in one particular area, but on the later stages, if we find that this guy is better fit to this particular thing, we will retrain him. That should come out from yourself. It's not that we recognize you, and if you are not passionate enough, we can't do anything. So in this particular industry, what I really enjoyed is that because I have just briefed you my previous experience in 5 different industries. This industry, what I feel is that it's all about their passion and creativity. So learning new things. So animation, I just in my intro speech I told you very clearly what will happen to an artist if he is not equipped with the right technology and relevant to the current situation right now. He'll be dinosaur. He'll be outdated. That gets applies in all the other sectors. If you see whatever sector you check, it is equally applicable. So it's all about learning your skills and relearning. That is the most important thing.
Okay, thank you, Vijit. So let me go a quick round in the second segment as well. Talking specifically on, maybe we can talk about 3 top skills that you will be looking from this end of guys when you
Okay, so for industry specific, I'm talking about my organization. So right now, I'm looking for full stack developers, cybersecurity people, automation testers, and of course, generative AI. So these are I could see that they were getting trained, and I felt really happy that you're providing such kind of trainings that people are actually taking it. And generative AI, machine learning, there is most of them are trained in that. So these are the major areas where we are looking at. So I'm talking only about the technical skills.
thank you. So, Vedita from your end.
Interestingly, I think it is the same because when I was actually looking at the kind of students, I was actually looking at data science is number one, cybersecurity, machine learning, generative AI. But these are the things which we are also equally looking forward to. So I think you have made the right choices by selecting these courses. Now the question is about how are you going to make use of these courses to your advantage, and that is where to the point that Vijit mentioned. I think you need to identify your niche. One is, of course, you need to have the passion. Second is, you need to identify your niche. And if I have to quote the top 3 skills very particularly, of course, technical is number one. The second aspect that we are looking forward to is what is your openness to learn and adapt? Because that's an important trait that is coming in today's situation where we see it could also be driven largely by the upbringing, or it could also be driven by the social environment that you are part of. We see that there is a lot of challenge that freshers are facing to adapt to a new situation, to the kind of work culture. We need to first align with the work culture to be able to transform to the way you want it to be, right? So that is where the adaptability and openness to learn becomes the second crucial skill. The third one that we are looking forward to is what is your ability to articulate? I'm not so sure who spoke about it. I think it was you, Houston. Because articulation is an important skill. And we are really looking forward to how can you sort of project yourself, what you have in your mind, how can you make sure you articulate it very clearly so that people understand where you are coming from, right? Because you may be having a fantastic idea to problem solve something, but if you're not able to put it across in a way that others can understand with relevant context, you lose it, right? So this is where articulation becomes key, right? So these are 3 skills which at least in Zafin we are looking forward to.
So I would say, though we are into an animation industry, we have a lot of other portfolios also. The main 3 skills I would do is that one is the client management. Top priority, guys. Client management. Days are gone when you do your job and just leave the office. It's not only about your hardware, okay, because in the data science I know you should have some hardware experience, or in cybersecurity you should know some sort of network, server administration, some programming skills, C++, Java, Spring Boot or whatever, Angular, React or anything. Then the cloud monitoring and all those stuffs are there. That is all your technical skill. Apart from that, what Mr. Sreekumar told is networking. Networking and the social mingling, that's where you learn how to deal with the client. That's my point, client management. Because you will be good in all your technical aspects. But until your client is happy with your performance, things are gone. Because currently I know around 50, 60 projects are running in my studio. Everything will be fine. Even he will be the best producer or the director. But he is unable to express himself, express his thoughts and clarity. You know animation, right? So we cannot just do a full animation video and present it to the client. He is technically very strong. He has a strong foundation in even Python or top graded Angular JS or React also we are working on. But unless and until he communicate the way which the client require, then the project will go for a toss which costs millions of dollars. Right? One thing. Second thing is that most importantly is the cultural fitment. You will be very strong in your all your technical aspects, all your things, client management, everything. Unless and until you are a strong, because company will look into how you get fit into our culture. Right? So if you are not fitting into that particular company culture, people won't accept you. That's where the point comes, adaptability. Third one, I will reiterate, learning. Learning new techniques every day, because if you see, all trends are changing like anything. Trends are changing in the industry like anything, because I was into IT. I know. We started with C++ when I joined Muthoot almost 12 years back. Then we moved to .NET, then .NET MVC, Java Spring Boot. So that all the platform which we used in that particular industry got changed. For that, I can tell you that that team was not equipped. We need to outsource it for crores to outside company. Because the first thing I told, we are not ready to change ourselves. Our technical guys were not ready to adapt to the new changes and new learning things. Later on, we implemented a Landy team and we ensured that all these guys are doing a job which is not specified but a generic role. Please understand, we are not looking for people who are specialized in one particular thing. That's what I told you, multifunctional, you have to learn more things. So that people will check whether this guy won't fit here, where I can put that guy. Second option also you need to look into, where people will see you as a generic person. You can be put into 3 departments wherever it is required. Not in a specialist kind of profile where you do only this kind of a work. If that project is not there, you will be on bench. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So can you see relate? Because even though you are doing development, posting your application, one thing that you might have noticed, I think all of you, after when you click on putting, shows the seats, number of seats. Okay? It can easily show 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be a drop down, it can be a sequence of 1, 2, 3, but it shows something. What it shows? For one ticket, it shows the type, and 2 tickets, it shows along with the number, it shows a bike, a scooter. For 3, it shows auto rickshaw. Alright. So what is it? It's you can still launch the application without having that part added, but that is creative. So if you wanted to present something, you can be creative, and the creativity definitely the people will be using that application more than sometimes using other applications. That makes it an edge. Okay, so this concludes our second segment. So thank you so much for the inputs. And in the third segment, we'll be talking mainly on some of the challenges. So most of you will be believing that getting a job, and if we are actually sitting in your place, we will also feel the same thing. But the actual challenge is performing in the role is the biggest challenge. That day you might be thinking that getting the job is easy, but being in the role or performing in the role is one of the most difficult things. And I repeatedly tell this example. Sanju Samson knows it better than anyone. He was a permanent member because he couldn't able to perform when he gets the chance. So now here actually we will be talking something about the challenges the freshers face from start with Vijay. Graduates joining the company from an HR perspective, what are the challenges that you see so that
So, first of all, let me be brutally honest. So, trainers, please understand new joinees. Always it's very difficult to get an entry. I'll be brutally honest, please excuse me for that. Unless and until you have a good certification. You know the technical aspects of those things which the company requires. Because I can just mix my experience with my IT company and here. Because we used to go for campus recruitments, right? So we prefer people who get additional certifications. Why? Because please note guys, day one productivity counts. Day one productivity counts. Company is paying you. We want the return. Because my days I know 20 years back, when I joined a company, my mentor was very passionate enough for like I got that kind of mentor who taught me all these technical aspects. And it took me another 3-4 months to learn. Now the days are gone. You are not there, another 10 people are there lined up behind you. Got it. So it's good that you got a certification here. And try to enhance your certifications. Don't stop from here. So the main challenge what I would say is that getting an entry level for a trainer is unless and until you are equipped enough or skilled enough. Because when you go, talking doesn't count. They will put you into a machine. Do my job. I will give you time. 1 hour, 2 hour. Do it, result speaks. Got it. So that is the most important challenge in my, because for my IT company I face. Here, what we do is that we will ask them to make a reel. Because in animation we call it as a reel. If a rigging happens, you would say, because rigging means it is like a bird flying. You will just feel that area you can just this fly like this. It takes minimum 2 months to make that happen. Because each and every movement they have to rig with the joints. It's very difficult. And it's a very tough kind of a job, which only that kind of a skill set person can give. So we will just share the link with him. He need to do it, he need to send it back. In that machine, we can see how much time he has spent in front of the machine. You can't do it from somebody else. Days are gone. Okay, if you are out of the screen, automatically the screen captures that this particular person is out of the screen for these many minutes. And what is the speed which we are doing? If there is any inconsistency, it will automatically capture. Then the executive summary will come, the performance criteria. Hope you have heard about the metal test. I think that kind of psychometric test will be there. So, unless and until you are equipped enough, you are skilled enough, you are passionate enough, and you learn very thoroughly what are the subject, and it's not about the theoretical subject which you learn from this academy. I would say they have their own limitations. Guys, please don't explore other opportunities. Everything is here, free of cost. Just do that. Otherwise, it's not going to be that kind of an easy side. You will feel very comfortable here working. But when you go to a corporate culture, I also felt when I was doing my MBA, I will get a white collar and just go and tell people how to work like that. No, I have to go to the field into insurance sales and marketing. So things are different here. So your field into insurance sales and marketing. So things are different here. So your group is something different who are mainly into the technical aspect. So what I want to point out is that learn as much as things as possible, because competition is that tough outside the market. It's not about the theoretical things you learn, get outside experience and outside you can explore anything. As much as possible, please try to explore. People won't have a specific kind of a question in IT or in your sector. You can say this is a possibility, this is a possibility. That's where an interviewer or an HR person or a technical architect or a senior manager is looking into. What kind of other things this guy can do other than this particular role. Okay, yeah, thanks.
okay,
So, cloud this cloud servicing is there for these people. This course is there for them.
AWS or
AWS is there. So what I feel is that Azure course, please, because I was into IT, so I know, because this is a data. And next is the cyber security. Every day you can, if you check in the cyber security site, you can see thousands of complaints coming. I can just give an example. One of my friend was selling a property. So that kind of experience you can feel in many that related situations where you get cheated. Okay? You got it. So most important thing is that cyber security is the demand of the hour right now. Though other data science, everything, data analysts, all those stuff, I will feel that the company's data is with you. That is, for example, if you take what is our asset like is our health. Company's asset is data. For that they can go to any extent they want. And next I would prefer is that software, what and all things you have Java.
we have one full stack and the other stack is Java. So we don't have even enrolled Java. So .NET, Java and no other full stack.
So I think mostly for this cloud, I would say that networking kind of certifications related to server. Then coming to Linux, I would say C, C++, .NET, Java, that kind of certifications. All this counts for you guys. So that's what I am talking about. And definitely I would say project management certification. That is my top priority, guys. Because these all, you will have a lot of people to control you. And if you have a project management, at this point of time, you may not get an entry. But maybe 6, 7 years later, you will be leading the people who are like you. You may not get an entry. But maybe 6, 7 years later, you will be leading the people who are like you, who have not taken the certification at that point of time. So that is the most important thing I want to do.
Okay, thank you. We just did the next said like so Renita is reading that this particular segment you are into sector that adopts technology quite fast. And then if somebody tell you like this particular segment you are into sector that adopts technology quite fast. And then if somebody talks about launching, definitely it will be beginning. Somebody, how your organization learn new technology and take up the technology?
To answer your question really specifically, it is clearly project based. So what I mean by project based is definitely when you get involved in a particular project, there is always this requirement that is discussed with the client in terms of what exactly is the solution that the client is looking forward to, right? Based on that, the staffing happens. Now, when the staffing happens, naturally, the resource optimization team generally looks into what is the current skill set of the people who are staffed, of the resources who are staffed, and what are some of the requirements that's coming our way, which is where the gap analysis happens, right? And based on that, what happens is there is a clear skilling needs that's identified. Now, some of these needs are being met through the certifications. Again, going back to what Bridget mentioned, clearly taking up certifications with service providers like Udemy, Coursera, or some of these options like LinkedIn Learning, etc. Some of these skills are very cuts across all the layers, right? Which is where we offer such kind of a training to people, right? So there is, I would say, experts who can offer such kind of a training to people, right? So there is, I would say it's actually a two-way street. It's not always driven by the individual. It is kind of based on the project. It is also based on the needs of the business that we go in for upskilling. And clearly everything is backed with a strategy, because there is a two-way conversation which constantly happens with the senior leadership, trying to kind of understand how the business is evolving. and based on that, we keep the talent ready, right? And just to kind of go back to the conversations or to the inputs that Bridget was giving earlier, Zafin historically is not an organization which ever promotes bringing in fresh talents, right? So even when you might have done the rest of certification, we are not so interested for the freshers up until last year. Last year, it was a game changer. Because of the COVID situation, because of certain other things that we had to take, we went ahead and did a massive campus hiring. And that was like, when I say massive campus hiring, it's not in 3 digits, of course, we brought in people. We brought in people in 2 digits, which is like 26 people we brought into our organization. And I must clearly mention, of the 26, 25 of them were truly talented. Because we had to go do an intense analysis to bring them in, but the kind of trainings that we provided to them, it was both internal and external trainings, we could actually see all of them getting billable in a matter of 6 to 9 months. That increased the confidence of Zafin to go in for another round of campus drive this year. This year again, because right now that batch is just getting into the operations, into their teams, and I can clearly see out of the group of new hires who will be brought in from all over India, I would say, because this time we went ahead and did a pan-India campus recruitment drive, and clearly I can actually see that all of them are able to kind of step up. Now that is again due to several aspects of what all three of us mentioned, in terms of what is the passion that you bring in. Yes, there is an academic brilliance and all of us are looking forward to, right, to have. But beyond that, what is sort of the applicability that you are having? One thing that is very important that we are looking into is what is your project level exposure and experience? Have you done anything of that sort? If so, what have you specialized on in the project? What is your share of contribution? Right? Is there a group of people that you interacted with? So what's the sort of networking that you have done? Right? So these are a couple of things that we are looking into beyond the certification. What is sort of your applicability of the certification in a situation? Right? So that's sort of, I don't know if I answered you best in very specifically, but largely these are a couple of things that we are primarily targeting, both from an upskilling standpoint as well as from a hiring standpoint.
Okay, so thank you, Rita. So a slightly different question to you. So maybe you will be having a lot of dashboards. The dashboard will be showing you consolidation of all data about the employee performance. So these people may be people like the audience will be joining your company. Maybe 1 year, 2 years down the line, they start performing. So what are the things that surprise you from the insight that surprised you in your recent years experience? COVID scenario.
Okay, so I already mentioned, as Vijay and Ronita rightly mentioned, we are not looking for freshers just to take them and train them. Right? Industry is not looking for freshers who just walk in and learn. We are looking for people who, even though they don't have experience, but they have the willingness to learn by proving themselves. How do they prove themselves? One thing, of course, as they mentioned, certifications. That is one thing. And second thing is you have done some kind of internships. So I have seen in many of my companies, people who join as interns, they just act like interns. But I always suggest when you join a company as an intern, work like an employee. Understand what you're working. Understand what your organization is doing. Not just doing that piece of work which is given to you just for the 3 months or 6 months. So that is one thing you have to understand. Why I'm starting from the beginning, then only I can tell what happens after 2 years. Right? So once you join as an intern, for example, you're joining as a fresher. Every company will not hire one person or two person as a fresher. So there will be a batch, at least 3 to 4 people. Now, as Rinta mentioned, it is 26 people. It can be anywhere more than 5 people. So most of the time what I have seen is like, in that batch who has joined as fresher, after 1 year, you can see there will be certain people still working as that associate engineer or the trainee engineer. But there will be some people who have moved as senior engineers, or even as business analysts, or even as some automation testers. So, what is the difference they made? They chose their passion, they chose their way. So, it's not that I join as an engineer and I just go through the path which is there as a normal way. So, you need to understand, you need to challenge yourself, you need to adapt to the situation. You remember I asked you good evening and I asked you to give back and I told that I shortlisted 5 people. Though I was joking about shortlisting, but yes, that is what happens. The proactiveness, when you say that good evening, your voice, your modulation, your body shows that the proactiveness you have for that situation, the adaptability you show for this evening. It shows how much well you're planning to attend this meeting. So that is your dedication. What is showing. So these all factors is HR will look into these factors. And when I'm talking about HR, we are not HR is not the person who actually evaluate a candidate, right, or an employee. We have the team leads, project managers. These all people will evaluate you, and it comes to HR. So what are they evaluating you? These dashboards which you mentioned, it is their performance valuation. So every 3 months or every 6 months, we are evaluating you. What are the factors we are evaluating you? Of course, your skill set. You are a full stack developer. So of course, we look into you. What kind of skill set you have? How much good you are in that? But adaptability, how much you are learning, maybe what the interest which you show to take up another skill sets. Maybe you are doing a business analyst role also with a engineering position. So these are the adaptability we are looking at, that eagerness to learn we are looking at. So you asked me the question that what is surprising me, right? So the surprising factor I have felt is like most of the times I have seen a batch of freshers joined, but after 1 year I can see that the change happens between few people and the other ones. Few are still sitting as associate engineers but still move to the other roles. So that is really surprising for me. And I feel that I already mentioned that the employer is not looking for just a fresher or an employee. From the day one, we are looking for your productivity. How much you adapt to the challenges, how much you navigate to the dynamic work culture. These all factors matters.
Okay, thank you. So let me take a pause because set of things that I plan to ask the panel is done. Now it's time for you to ask questions. So now you know that the interview already started. Ask any questions. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, Ashwin.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Introduce yourself and then ask.
Good afternoon. My name is Ashwin Dosia. From ICT. I'm from FSD batch. So my question is to you, Miss Austin Thomas. As I'm an automobile enthusiast, and my skill set in generative AI and machine learning, and my curiosity to know about cybersecurity, I have two questions. My first question is, how ADAS features of vehicles help you in traffic management and how you look on to that? And my second question is about how often cybersecurity in autonomous vehicles are relevant in your company. How you and your company look on to that also. Cybersecurity in autonomous vehicles.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, so the first question you have asked is traffic management. So you have seen the cameras which is there in the roads where they can actually capture the pictures of the vehicles with their number plates, whether you are wearing a seat belt. So these all are we are doing this software solution we are providing for the companies. My company IRS, which is there in India, but we are doing major business for European countries. Our major headquarters is in Netherlands. So these kind of solution we are providing. So this is majorly for Netherlands and European countries. And for the second questions, the cyber security, basically we are looking into the cyber security of the data which we are handling in our software development. But in the autonomous system, that is done by the people which is working from the on-chip. Yeah. So here it is mainly into software development.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Keshu?
Hi. 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 Good evening, everyone. I'm not a student. My name is Tony Fernandez. I'm a proud product of the HR team of Bit Solutions. This is for the larger benefit that the benefit of the larger audience. We are at a timeline where let's hypothetically consider we are all ready. Thanks to industry leaders like ICT Academy, we are already there. We have the conceptual clarity and the muscle to execute, and we are industry ready. But there is always a question of how to choose the right organization. And we are always swayed by the larger names that are there publicly available. Societal changes are there. But being in the industry, I know all these tech giants, a lot of other mid-sized giants, a lot of other like industry leaders. But there will always be at the back of my mind, should I go with the popular names or should I follow this industry readiness passion that I have, the hard work that I put into my learning and do justice to that passion? Which organization will I choose when I have the choice? Just keeping it open. Maybe the panel can help us.
Yeah.
Hey, hi Tony. It's my close friend. So, I would say it's not about the company. That is my personal view. Because you have to mainly focus on what is the company stands for. Are your skills, your passion matching their vision? Every company, if you see in the website, you can clearly see what is their vision like. What are they into? What kind of people they are looking for? Brand, I will put it in a second line. Why? Because even if you know the startups like many companies, I would say, they are just growing like anything. One advantage you go to a startup or a smaller company which is aligned to your vision and your goal means you will have a lot of learning opportunities. Got it? Otherwise, if you go to a company where everything is structured, everything is well processed oriented, I'm not saying that if you get an opportunity, definitely you have to go. But my personal view, with my 20 years of experience, I am saying, go to a platform where you can have cross-functional learnings. You have multiple opportunities to learn and relearn your skills. If you go to a well-established or very process-oriented company, you will be very restricted to your only one kind of a workflow, I would say. You won't be able to get much kind of an opportunity. Why? Because there are a lot of people out there. At the beginners, since you are beginners, I am saying, at the training level, I would recommend always to go for a company which is just emerging, not at the top level, just emerging, and where you have a lot of cross-functional learning opportunities. Thanks.
If I may add on to what we just said, again, I think for me, I have a little different take on this. It again depends upon where you want to finally land. I mean, going back to the initial part of what we just said, uh, I think you need to find out what exactly excites you. Like sometimes you are excited because that is a shining bubble. Oh, Microsoft, oh my god, Accenture, McKinsey. And I have been in McKinsey, so I know the McKinsey culture very well. And I know what exactly Vijay is referring to. And to be very candid with you, I can actually share my own story. When I had to step out of the organization after 20 years of an environment which I'm familiar with in and out, that was not easy for me. Because that was almost like, do I really want to take this big step at a time when I know that I'm wanted, right? And then I had to know I really want to step out and I really want to explore the world. So that was a simple thinking that I had, but definitely I had to do that bit of work with myself to find out where would I draw the biggest learning. Right? That clearly brought me into Zafin, which is a growth-oriented organization. We are in the growing phase, which means the learning that you're going to have in such kind of an organization is much, much higher. There is opportunity for upskilling, reskilling, cross-skilling, whatever you want to call that as. So I think it again depends upon what is the clear thought behind why you want to be employed, right? The question next is where you want to be, which again, if you have a choice, it all depends upon how you would choose based on your source of happiness.
Yeah, thank you. She came with an offer letter. They used to programs in machine learning or full stack development. And they may be confused whether they are checking whether we get an offer from a company on the specific tech. Otherwise, then we will go and join the MNC offer that already there. Such profiles with you. Your HR team will be happy to have it. They actually, some of them are, they are placed from the campus, but they are joining bakeries maybe next time they want to upskill themselves. They are doing full stack as well as cyber security, some courses with us. And but if they accept the current offer, they may be gone to the same cycle, like the initial set of training and they will be putting into the project something. But here they are checking whether they get an offer directly into some of these skills. Like can they join us in machine learning engineer or a data analyst?
Of course, you can try for a better offer. And one thing you have to understand, as the other panelists mentioned, the offer which you got at the company which you got selected, what is the kind of company it is? Are you planning or you attended that interview in the first place itself because of that big name? Or because of the package they have given, or is it because that it is aligned with the skills that you have and which the aligned with the passion you have? So that is very important. So this question is something very relevant to this kids here because this is your first job and as a first fresher you will be having this confusion that which company I should choose and whether I should get this, I have this offer, now I should leave this and I should go get another offer. This is a confusing stage, I can understand. But they clearly mentioned you have to understand what is your area, what is your passion. Passion, I'm not talking about, I want to be a, what you say, artist, but I just learned the Java, so that is not what I'm saying. You have to really understand, you already chose this career, right? That's why you are sitting here today. So now you need to see whether am I a business analyst or am I a cloud engineer or do I want to get to a database engineer? So first thing, you should understand all the differences, right? You know that. You are not just learning a course. Are you? You have to think. Am I learning just a course just because everybody is doing? Or am I learning it because I have that passion for that? One of these questions she asked, I got really interested because that question was very genuine because he's very much interested in that automobile sector. So like that, everybody should have that passion for whatever the course you are doing. That is very important. And you should realize, okay, this particular skill which I am trained in is what I want to pursue. And also have an open mindedness as you have already had an offer, but you already having another course. So of course you can try for another offer because one thing which Bridget mentioned, I also connect to it because when in my company, when a person joins and after 1 year or 2 years, they really become in the industry, they will get at least 6 years kind of an experience person because that kind of learning they get from a medium kind of a company from us. And bigger company, I'm not saying that bigger companies don't have or they don't provide the platform, but most of the time what I have noticed is they just get cornered into one particular skill. They will be just doing one particular task. So after 1 year or 2 year experience, they will not have so much of expertise in them. They will be just have the skill of one particular thing. But in these kind of companies, like I could see our companies, kind of similar kind of companies where they have a lot of growth potential. So maybe you can try in such kind of companies as well.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Hi. So, one more thing I just want to tell you that please stop comparing. Lot of offers will come. Companies will be there. Opportunities will be there. अरे यार इसको मिला मेरे को नहीं मिला उस कंपनी में नहीं मिला please don't. You got it what I'm saying? Because as youngsters I would just advise you Don't compare the company which your friend is going. But learning opportunities you see will be better for you rather than for him. So please be comfortable with what and all jobs you have, and please take care of your health rather than going for mental tension and all those related stuffs. Yeah, I never got a job, I'm not getting a job, I passed out of this academy, I spent too much of amount for this. Guys, please wait. Don't rush into things. Some people may get, but your time will come. I'm just giving you an advice because I know what happens in the family. Parents will say, "Arey, do that, do that." Out of frustration, they may tell you, but it's up to you to maintain calm and composed. Your chance will come. Keep trying. Please don't compare with the offers which the other person has. That will pull you down. Let me make it very clear. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Now it's time to move to Gen Z. And some questions I come forward. So take my seat. So start with Asna.
I'm always thrilled to hear this rapid round questions. Never attended once, I will attempt.
Hi ma'am, I'm Asna from the SFH.
Hi dear.
Start.
Sure.
Name something that always makes you happy.
This moment I am happy.
If you could read anyone's mind, who it would be?
My own.
If you open a store, what would you sell?
Okay. You want me to sell something? Okay. I will sell some kind of books where everybody can read and get some kind of knowledge about.
Yourself, what name would you choose?
No way. I'm not renaming mine. I love my name.
With the power to get rid of one thing in the world, what would you choose?
The world.
Yes.
There are so many, but one thing I would like to that inequality.
What is the best way for someone to help you when you are feeling sad?
Leave me alone.
If you, what would you write about?
Great question. I write about. See, I cannot be an author, so I can write only one thing. It's about myself.
And this is the last question. If you could have any animal as a pet, which animal would it be?
Okay. A clever again a tough question, but of course I'll have a doggy because my husband and family loves dogs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the wonderful question.
Studying data science and analytics.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Engineering.
Janet.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, sure.
Which three words do you think best describe
Energetic, excited, and also a little crazy.
Sure. If you could make your own movie,
I think it would be about family because I give a lot of value to family and relationships.
if you
Happily, what not? Uh, the first thing I would do is just maybe to go to some crazy place, could be a pub or something, just to watch because it's so nice, no?
What are you most likely to become famous for? What are you most likely to become famous for?
Thanks for good season.
What is something
I own my mind, I own my heart.
if you could know anything about your future?
Why should I be unnecessary anxious about the future? So I would rather leave it to exploration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. And he said that you're nervous to come to stage. So these are people are randomly selected, not previous experience in doing something on the stage.
They have done a good job because I was actually in the hot seat.
Yeah.
From me?
Yes.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
If you could be the owner of any company, which company would it be and why?
I would love to start my own company. And mostly into sports because I basically am a sportsman.
Next question. If you had access to a time machine, where would you go?
Present. I don't want to rewind or move forward. I love to be in the present. Like everybody.
If you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
We are no way. I choose to die rather. Right answer for me on behalf of crazy. Yeah, tough questions for me, right? Go ahead.
How do you feel when someone thinks you are wrong?
I will tell him that I have book a cab. I will pay the money, go to hell, enjoy.
What is something you are good at that you could teach someone else?
I am a good team player. So, wherever situation I am put in, I try to explore from there, be a good team player. That is most important for our personal and professional career.
What's the most difficult thing you have ever had to do?
To convince my wife. Not for me only, or for all married people.
If your house was on fire, what are two things you would grab on your way out?
My cricket bat is there, and my football. Because they will run away. My wife and two kids are there. They are more sporty than me. They will run first. I know that. But I have to take care of my kids, right?
If a genie gave
Sorry?
if a genie
Genie, no.
gave you three wishes, what three things would you wish for?
I wish for.
Yeah.
I wish to be a sportsman, one, to have a good health, and always to have my favorite Doberman and Rottweiler around.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, thank you, team. In every organization, the HR people are the most experienced the same thing here. Last time also I was what we want them to carry this energy. Let's go to the last round for the closing remarks. Ready?
Okay. For me,
Yeah.
no, I think, and first and foremost, let me thank the ICT Academy for inviting me here because I think it's always a pleasure to see I don't know, for some reason I often refrain myself from calling the Gen X or something because I think I can relate well with any group of people, be it from the boomers to the baby boomers to the Gen Z. I know I so and of course meeting all of you is something I love. It's a pleasure and to be able to engage you, I hope we have. That's also something that is a great blessing and honor. And also to be able to tolerate and still be patient to listen and understand what exactly are few things that's emerging, at least to hear out the perspectives that we had to offer. That's a great moment for me personally. So I'm taking back good memories from here. And thank you ICT, Riji, Crispin, all of you for having me here.
First of all, I was really thrilled when you invited me here. Tommy for referring me. So I was really happy because one thing which I always relate to is the freshers batch. Because I was a fresher once I joined the IBM, and I'm sure what kind of mindset I was going through. I'm sure that time there was nothing like this kind of now you have ICT Academy who is helping you having this kind of sessions, industry experts coming talking to you. So much of support, right? Mentoring you, but during my period it was not there. So when I thought of meeting you all, I was really I have this kind of excitement and thrill whenever I go for the campus recruitment also. Because they have that kind of eagerness to learn, eagerness to move into that big employer. So I could see all that thing in your face also. So I'm so happy that I was part of this with the respectable panelists here. I'm so happy that ICT Academy invited me. I'm very happy for that, for this opportunity I got. And I hope you all got some kind of small knowledge from today's discussions we had. And I'm so happy to help you in future as well. If you have any questions related to HR or interviews, anything, you can of course put them, you can approach me anytime. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you ICT Academy Riji and Crispin for inviting us, Mr. Sreekumar. So freshers, because I used to go to colleges also, rather than getting into senior people community, I prefer to be with the trainees or freshers. Freshers are, I always feel that you guys have fresh mind. Fresh means very pure mind and openness to grab anything, right? So that's a kind of an aura you guys have it. So always keep that. Even though you are trained or you have much experience, try to relearn things, observe as many things as possible, as many things as possible. So that's the most important thing. And I really love to be with this crowd again. If I have my free time, Tony, he knows me. Thanks, Tony, for referring me. You only referred me here. So I would love to come, and Manoj is my close friend, Dr. Manoj. So I really love this session. So it's always a breaking session for us also during our hectic hours. So at this office, I know too many things would have come, calls, mails, all those stuff. So it was really great experience sharing our thoughts with you. And always, if you guys have any doubts, so they can reach out to us personally. Also, we are really love to help you guys. And always remember one thing: take care of your health, take care of your mind. All the rest of the things will follow. Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you everyone. So I think the panel surprised me. Normally when I talk about written skills, I expected three skills somehow, but those three skills never came to the discussion. And after 15, productivity and passion is the three word I heard a lot of times. So that's actually a surprise for me as well. And Tony actually you started a different conversation about if you have plenty of choices, then which to be picked, right? So I tell this is why of the remarks from the panel. Everyone was expecting the big answers. Sachin Tendulkar, Dhoni, Virat Kohli, but those answers never came out. And that Never heard about that name. I know that most of you have heard about Praveen Nambe. Praveen Nambe never played cricket for any state team or the national team player and a youngster wanted to play cricket and played really cricket for long. And one day he came as a late bowler to Rajasthan Royals team and Rahul Dravid spotted him. And then what he did was he included him in the probable teams list for Rajasthan Royals. But not his name, his age. And then, did you make a mistake? Rahul did, what? I have seen a 40-year-old guy in your team. So, 40 years in the team. Then Dravid could able to convince him. And in one of these interviews that he said, the one life in this person is his passion to play cricket. He did it recognized for 20 years. Still, he all the panelists. And if you want to do something, be passionate. I will take you to the place that is. And if you want to enjoy this weekend, and Paul Praveen Nambe is a movie which is streaming in Hotstar. You can watch that movie also. So thank you everyone. Thank you. All of you.
A big thank you to Ashna, Jenin, and Akila for your participation. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Houston Thomas to present a token of appreciation to Ashna. Next, I will request Ms. Renita to present a token of appreciation to Jenin. Finally, I would like to request Mr. Vijay Kumar to present a small token of appreciation to Akila. Thank you all. Thank you to all our panelists and Mr. Riji N for such a meaningful and enriching discussion. Before we conclude today's session, we would like to take a moment to express our gratitude to our esteemed guests. I kindly invite Mr. Sreekumar K.V, Mr. Riji N and Mr. Govindan, our Chief Finance Officer, ICT Academy of Kerala, to come forward and present a token of appreciation to our panelists. Now, to officially conclude today's event, I would like to invite Ms. Ashwati P, Associate Manager at Retail OU, ICT Academy, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Anupka. Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks today on behalf of ICT Academy of Kerala. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our panelists, Ms. Houston Thomas, Ms. Renita Krishna, and Mr. Vijay Kumar for sharing their invaluable insights on career readiness and industry expectations. A big thank you for our keynote speaker, Sreekumar sir, for taking note with this inspiring words, and to our moderator, Riji sir, for leading the discussion so thoughtfully. Also, I would like to thank Tony J. Fernandez for being with us today, and I would also like to extend my gratitude to Mr. Crispin J. Fernandez for his warm welcome, and of course, our organizing team for making this event possible. Lastly, a heartfelt thanks to all of you, the dear audience, for your active participation and engagement. We hope you leave this day with new knowledge and perspectives. Thank you once again. So before we leave, we invite you to the high tea which is waiting outside.
Have a tea there.